Well, hello and welcome. Here's a segment. Move the way you want, just move. And I'm with Rob. And if you listen to the last segment that we did, we said that today we were going to play. We were going to flip a coin and see what we were going to talk about. So it's going to be either, so if we have tails, we're either going to have Rob, just Rob. So Rob's going to tell us a funny story about fitness. And if it's heads, we're going to have Coach Rob. It's going to be so serious about
As serious as I can be, at least.
As serious as you can be, exactly. Okay, so I'm going to ask Google, hey, Google, can you flip a coin for me?
It's tails.
It's tails. It's a funny story, Rob.
You're happy about that too. Look at yourself. Funny story. Oh, okay, cool, got it. So I was working at this luxury gym, and they're very high-end clients, and most of them were either professional athletes, celebrities, or high-level corporate leaders or whatever. And I get an opportunity to train this CEO, female CEO, who had a very successful company, but she was kind of like highly charged, if you know what I mean. Like she'll shoot off in a minute, right? So we were working through some things in the gym, and one day she showed up and she was just distraught. Like she just wasn't in a space to kind of work out. And I said, well, let's take a walk. So we kind of just walked around the block a couple times around the gym, let her talk through what she was going through. And one of the things she was mad about is because she was having this issue with her daughter, but she bought her daughter a dog to kind of mend the issue, kind of bought a little fluffy, small little dog. But the problem was the dog was shitting all over the house, and it was eating everything. It was just doing all kind of little puppy things, right?
Yeah.
So she was just super irritated by this dog. I mean, she was just like, I never should have got this dog. The issue with my daughter wasn't that big, just a huge cloud storm or whatever. So we finally settled her down to the point where she was like, you know what? Let's go in the gym and let me kind of work off some of this energy, right? And she's, I'm kind of nippy out here anyway, or whatever. It's kind of cool, or whatever. So we get into the gym and we start doing a few exercises, and I have her doing some core work, some sit-ups, crunches. And when she starts doing the crunches and I look down, Jasmine, part of her pants were split off the crotch, like open, like wide open.
Was she wearing underwear?
No, she was not.
Oh my God.
So exposed in the gym right now, right? And I'm turning my head. I was like, come. Oh shit. And I turn and I'm looking away now. And she's over here doing the things. And I'm just trying to see who's looking at her. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, I'm just tripping. And I couldn't think of what to say. I just froze, Jasmine. So I was like, your little monkey is winking.
Your little monkey's winking.
So she goes, what? I was like, your monkey, he's winking. I have no idea what the fuck that means. Right? So long story short, I'm like, hey, look. And she looks down and sees it and grabs herself, runs to the locker room, and runs straight out from the locker room into the gym, into the car. I mean, session over immediately, right?
Of course.
So I'm like freaking out right now, like, because this is a very high-end client at the gym. Oh shit, I'm gonna lose my job. I'm tripping. I'm just really panicking. Yeah. So about 4 hours pass, and my phone rings, and it's her. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. So I'm kind of hands are sweaty. I'm like, what's going to be said? And she gets on the phone. I was like, hey, how you doing? She says, Rob, what the fuck is a monkey? And we just bust out laughing. She said, I have not stopped laughing since I left the gym. She said, she says, I have just been laughing so hard. That is why I haven't called you. Like, I tried to call you when I got in the car, tried to call you at home, but I couldn't stop laughing enough, right? And she says, do you know how that happened? The dog. The dog ate her pants. And as we were walking, the seams were just opening and opening and opening. And so it was the dog. So the whole thing was so funny because she was mad about the dog and what the dog was doing. And now the dog exposed the little monkey at the gym. And holy shit. And we laugh about that. We laugh about that forever. And yeah, that was probably one of the funniest stories I could think about in fitness. And yeah, that was the little monkey.
Well, then that was definitely worth it. That was worth the funny story. But I'm sure you've had more.
Yeah, that was probably just the one I couldn't believe. Like there are several funny ones, but that one is that was probably the
So
most.
I only have one question.
Yeah.
What the hell is a monkey?
so about a year later, I'm at home in Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm with my dad, and he takes me with him somewhere to his old friends, some of his old friends from, and they're sitting there drinking a couple beers and playing dominoes. And my dad says, something. And one of the guys said, yeah, I like that monkey. And I was like, what is that where I got that from? And I don't know if that's where I got it from. But it was like, when he said it, I was like, that was same context as what I said it for. Like it was just funny. So I don't know where it came from, but it definitely has stuck every time I told a story. So but that's why you move.
That's why we move. That's why we move. Yeah, I'm sure she found a way to have her core muscles get up and her legs run to her car in that moment.
Oh my God, it was such a yes. But the point of why we moved, if she could have got the thought storm together, we probably wouldn't have walked. Yeah. We probably wouldn't have walked. Pants probably wouldn't have ripped. We don't know, but I'm just saying,
Well, maybe we would have heard them.
Or we could have heard them. Yes. Yes. We could have saw it earlier or something. So it's just.
But then you wouldn't have this great story.
True too. True also.
But what's interesting, in the past few times that you and I have talked, I don't know if it was on camera or off camera, I'm sorry guys, but we were talking about, getting clear and just getting clear on why we move, and not just why we move, getting clear on anything. I think that clarity gives us the way that we want to go.
Yeah.
Right. So when we get caught up in thought storms, then we just can't see the way because we're just busy looking at other stuff. And one of the things that's showing up for me is organic, like organic movement. And I think that's kind of like what we were talking in the previous capsule segment. We were talking about how just move, right? That's why we call it move the way you want, just move.
Move the way you want, yes.
It doesn't have to be, on a treadmill, or it doesn't have to be with weights. It doesn't have to be with inside a gym. It doesn't have to be all of that. It could just
Actually,
be,
inside a gym is artificial.
yeah, I know. That's why.
Inside the gym is artificial movement because majority of the things inside a gym are isolated exercises, and there's no muscle or there is no movement that you do as a human being that has an isolated muscle. It's all movement is an integrated muscle function. So you can work on your biceps in the gym, but there'll never be anything in life you'll do that's just only be your biceps. It's
Mhm.
going to some else is going to have to engage and help do the movement you're trying to do. So organic would be, like we say, organically is standing and sitting in the chair that you're sitting every day. The equivalent in the artificial is squats.
Yeah.
You know, same thing.
Yeah, but there's also walking. Walking is an
Walking, absolutely.
organic. Like this is the kind of thing that I'm hearing. I'm kind of hearing.
Yes,
Like, it
absolutely.
doesn't have to be 1 hour, you know, like sometimes I've got things to do, but it doesn't have to be that 1 hour. I could do 10 minutes 6 times if I wanted to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's
that,
when that's the piece of every piece of movement counts. Yeah, if I can get 10 minutes 6 times a day, that's 60 minutes.
yeah.
I may not I may not even, have an hour to give fully, but yeah, 5 or 10 minutes added up throughout the day. Yes, 100% can do that.
So what do you think of something just showed up in my world? What do you think of in my world, in my mind, which is my world because, you know, anyways, um, what do you think of weightlifting?
Weightlifting has its benefits, but weightlifting is resistance, right? That's what we're attempting to achieve when we lift weights is resistance training, because the way we develop muscle is through resistance. So I can go to the gym and lift dumbbells to give my muscles the resistance, or I could walk with shopping bags in my hand. Like, it's all designed to make that function work better.
Mm,
So there is a large benefit to weight lifting or resistance training. Like, it can be a band. It doesn't have to be weights. It can be a band. It can be body weight. But what is all aimed to do is to increase the lean muscle mass in your body. And especially after 35, when we don't produce the same amount of lean muscle mass, then resistance training becomes very important. So push-ups, your squats, or sit to stands, things like that become important, so your body can get enough resistance to continue growing and developing.
mm. What, like I've been doing a lot of well, not since the pandemic, but before I was doing a lot of Pilates. And
Yes, I
I
love
really
Pilates.
love Pilates because it really, like you were talking, she was doing her core exercises. And I was like, yeah, I like, for me, Pilates totally changed my core in the sense that before Pilates, I could walk outside and if I trip on something, I'd literally fall and I'd hurt everywhere because I didn't have anything holding me, you know?
Yeah.
And lately, what I've been and what they've taught me also, remember when I was telling you that my shoulders used to work like this and now
Hmm.
they're
Now
like
they're independent. Yeah.
separately? Well, they also showed me how to separate my muscles. You know, like they would say, okay, so hold your core. But when I go and hold my core, I'd hold everything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd hold my butt, my legs, I'd be like, you know, it was one whole piece of muscle that I was holding. But now I've really, you know, discovered the different, you know, in my pelvic area. I've decided I can differentiate my muscles in that area,
Hmm.
and I've started differentiating the muscles here and the muscles here. So when I go to bed at night, what I play with is holding on to the different muscles. Like I go to bed and I
That's resistance training.
even
That
go
is
to bed.
actually resistance training. Yes, I a very good mentor, um, Billy Blanks. He was the creator of Taibo. He's a good friend and mentor, but he has this this thing he does where he causes his athletes to flex. And so they flex for a while, and then they hold these poses of engaging all of those muscles. That's part of the workout, though. You do that during your break. And when he explained it to me and showed it to me a few times, it was like, oh, it made so much sense, because when you flex a muscle, that's the same as putting resistance on it, right? Your ability to hold that muscle for however long. And it was just like, oh, okay. And so, yes, that is resistance training. That's pretty good. You do that. And the isolation or learning all the other muscles means you're bringing more muscle to the party. When you were just squeezing the ball at first, you basically was, like you said, I was falling, you were off balance because you was trying to live your whole being with a few muscles.
Yeah.
You weren't bringing your back muscles to the party. You weren't bringing your arm muscles to the party. Part of your glute muscles weren't at the party. Well, once we got activated, once you start tapping into them and seeing that they were there and they went through some resistance and got a little stronger, now you're knowing it. It's like, oh, wait, come on to the party. And then now you're standing more upright. You aren't falling as much, just more muscles to the party. That's all. Because of your movement.
So, oops. So basically, like that's what I see, like organically. Sometimes I do things like I don't even know why I'm doing them, but there's something in me that tells me, why don't you try that? Because when I first was able to differentiate the muscles, I was like, that is so cool. and again, it's almost like once I saw this, I kind of like went, wow, that is so cool. So I'm happy that you know, that kind of like shows that there's some thinking there that's in place.
Oh yeah, and it's such a excuse me, it's such a learning curve, because for years I thought I had tight hamstrings because I couldn't touch my toes. And so I had coaches from different sports I played, and everybody or this that always just try to stretch me out. And it just was so painful and it hurt so bad. And I remember meeting this guy, and we were talking about something. It was a training program or some class we were in together. And he was like, you don't have short hamstrings. He was like, your hips are off. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, your hips are off. And he showed me a few things. He was like, adjusted my pelvis and this and this. And I've been touching my toes ever since. And he was like, oh, like I was addressing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I had the ability to touch my toes, but because I was addressing the wrong thing, I never did. Yeah. Once I got the information, made the adjustment, like you said, in your shoulders being independent and in my hips, I was able to do something I haven't done in a long time. That's why we move. It's to learn that. It's to see that, you know.
You got to learn how your body moves. You just got to learn what you can do.
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
And so, guys, hope that this was interesting to listen to and that it made a difference for you. If you want to reach out to us, just look at the links in the description. You'll find us. And thank you very much. Remember, just move the way you want.